Jim Bow.
Court is in session with Ryan in Sacktown on If You Don't Like That. Now, Ryan in Sacktown.
Oh, must be Ryno.
Ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
Damn right. We wrap up the week today on the King's Court. How's everybody doing? I know why you're all here. You want to talk about what, excuse me, is going on with betting in the NFL, the latest from Fanatics Fest. What else, minutia? The Kings wrapping up their summer league action. Yeah, 3:30 they wrap it up. Nobody is really playing in terms of the guys that you are looking to see something from. Really easily could make an argument that Emmanuel Sharp has been more impressive than Darius Acuff Jr. in Vegas. It's an easy argument to make. I don't know what you guys are talking about. That's not why you would be here. No. We're not going that way. We are not here to talk about cats. We got that out of the way yesterday. Everybody wants cat updates. It's not happening. Maybe it'll happen. We'll see. I haven't seen the cat, if I'm going to be honest with you, but the tuna is gone. So, well, half of the tuna is gone. So we'll leave it at that. He probably, it was a one-day thing. Maybe I was hallucinating. Who knows? Maybe it was AI. Maybe I made the whole thing up. You wouldn't know, would you? Hey, I did a little deeper dive on how we ended the show yesterday, which was gambling and the NBA and Adam Silver and somewhat of the hypocrisy of it. He did a 2014 op-ed in the New York Times about gambling, and this was before it became legalized in the States. This is when he was lobbying the federal government to give it to the States. And I've also got a sound drop that he talks about. So I want to get into that bigger conversation. You've got the World Cup final that's going to be happening on Sunday. It's so weird that they're playing it in New York, or I should say New Jersey. There's so many better places to play that game. Have you seen the stadiums that the World Cup has been playing in here in America? Take that thing to Atlanta. Take it to Jerry's World. I just don't get why they're having it at MetLife. I get MetLife it's New York, right? It's the biggest city in the United States, but it just doesn't feel like a good fit. And you can't, first thing that came to mind when I'm thinking about it is, all right, how many Achilles are we going to see? But certainly they're playing on actual grass, so that's not going to be the case. You still want cat news. Let me get warmed up. Are you going to make a sandwich with leftover tuna? What's wrong with you, dude? No, I'm not. In fact, I'm kind of worried about going outside and near that can. I don't really want to do it, if I'm being quite honest. I mean, the cat still might pick at it. That would be my thought. If the cat's hungry, you're going to pick at it. We have wrestling later today. Adam's going to be showing up as well. Dude, why you all up on me like this, man? Back off, horse. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Everything you just said.
He's right. I am only watching this show until you start talking about wrestling. Then I am gone. Then I got you for an hour. Good. You've got the British Open, the Open Championship going on overseas. And then again, the Kings will be wrapping up Summer League here in about 30 minutes, taking on the Charlotte Hornets. A little bit of a concerning stat if you are a Kings fan, and it depends where you are when it comes to Darius Acuff Jr., but there's only one player in Summer League that has more turnovers than Darius Acuff Jr., and it's Caleb Wilson. And Caleb Wilson has been really, really good. In fact, The Athletic put out a piece earlier today, Sam Vicente, who I agree with for the most part, laying out the guys that really showed out. Basically, the top four played really well. They're going to be great players in the league. I'm not ready to say stars, but they're going to be really good. A guy that I saw in Sacramento for the California Classic, Brandon Burries, is mentioned here. It probably was not a good sign that the Bucks were terrible, even by Summer League standards, given how many contracted players they had on their team. But that had nothing to do with Burries. He was one of the best players I saw at Summer League, point blank. In Las Vegas, he scored 67 points in 3 games, shot 50% from the field and 44% from 3, and dished out 12 assists versus only 1 turnover. His comfort level and lack of fear stood out from the get-go. He looked completely poised. It's impossible to rush him with pressure. That was pretty much my scout, that back end of it. That's what I was trying to get across when we saw him play in Sacramento. He was just calm. He could get to his spots. You weren't stopping him. Jerry and I talked about it on Wednesday, almost cruise control-ish. So the footwork, polish, and suddenness of his moves to separate from his man seem to have even improved from Arizona last season when they were significant strengths. Burries is constantly on balance, and he's ready to make an impact from day one for the Bucks. Completely agree. I would not be surprised to see him compete for first-team All-Rookie, a first-team All-Rookie berth this season, given that he's also a polished defender with new coach Taylor Jenkins. Yep. Look, he looked good in Sacramento. He looked good in Vegas. What can you say? He's a day one guy. He's not the guy that you're going to give the ball to every possession, but he's going to be a player that ends up with 20 points, 15 points, 6 assists, 8 rebounds, and you're going to be like, how did that happen? He drew 3 quick fouls on Nick Clifford. 3 fouls in the first 4 minutes. And it wasn't like stuff where he was making a move, shooting. They were fouls where Nick was trying to stop him from getting to places. Now, as for the Kings, let's talk about what they wrote here. The Kings had an interesting summer league experience that was probably worth putting in this section rather than just calling out number 7 pick Darius Acuff Jr.'s game. On one hand, Acuff got where he wanted to go out of ball screens. However, he missed a lot of threes. The process was also far too geared towards scoring as opposed to passing, although that improved over the final 3 games. I'd bet he averages 20 this year, but it might be inefficient. I also loved what Emmanuel Sharp showed on defense, as mentioned above in the Keegan Wagler section. He was tough and physical, looking like a rotation player. Many of the same things have been said here as well. Jerry and I said the same things about Sharp. Body-wise, his ability to contribute without having to put a lot of attention on him in the offense really helps out. And then lastly, talks about Caravan. Caravan dealt with an ankle injury and struggled in his first game in Las Vegas before improving. So if you're a Sacramento Kings fan today and you're looking at Acuff's stats at Summer League, and mind you, it's not like there were a ton of players on the floor that were going to take a lot of attention away from Acuff. So we start there. But the 3-point shot, the reliance on it, it's something that I was talking about during the California Classic. And you hope this balances out. But what I would say is this is a stern reminder that this guy is not one of the guys that was the top 4 in the NBA draft. The national media made it feel like, how did Darius Acuff slip to 7? Like, how does that happen? It's the steal of the draft. He's going to take time. I've said here that he's going to be streaky this year. That's my word, streaky. But I don't know. I like what they said about focusing on the passing part. And that's where I go back to the fact that he had the second most turnovers in Summer League. Part of that is who is around you. And then part of that is sometimes just decision making. So we'll see what happens as we get closer to training camp and what improves, what type of floor time he gets with Sabonis, what type of time he gets with Ryno, with the open gym runs. But those are usually the younger guys. The vets usually come back later. What's up, Ryno? Do you think Caravan will play big minutes in the regular season based on what you've seen from him? No, I do not. I think in completely different players to a degree. The only thing that they really have in common is traditionally they shoot the 3-ball well. I think he's going to be kind of that Doug McDermott role where it's like, okay, break the glass, pull the emergency lever. Nothing is working offensively. Can Alex make some shots and turn things around? So I think his role will be infrequent when it comes to the rotation, unless there's injuries. That would be the wild card. I do think, though, Emmanuel Sharp is going to get a lot of minutes. Emmanuel Sharp will be your first guy off the bench. Monk is almost never the first guy off the bench, even though he's the best player off the bench. My guess is he's going to be third off the bench, fourth off the bench. Emmanuel Sharp will be on the floor by the start of the second quarter at the latest, most games, right off the shoot. Acuff should look a lot better with Keegan and Sabonis on the floor. That's the hope, right? I don't want, and it is a legitimate concern, and Jerry and I kind of hacked this up on Wednesday, his ability to finish around the rim. Now, it was great in college, but this is a different game than college. And even in Summer League, it wasn't great. Guys were catching up to him. They were blocking him from behind. Can that change? What you do not want to do, and I'm going to give you I'm going to give you the opposites and perfect examples to illustrate this. What you don't want to do is stop going to the hoop. You don't want to settle for the 3 if you're not having success at the rim, if you're getting blocked, if you're not getting the foul calls, etc. And we've seen players that will sometimes do that. I don't need to say all of their names. Plenty of them that settled for the 3 too much. I don't want to bring up De'Aaron Fox's name, although he was much better at the rim than Acuff has been so far. So you don't want that. But then on like last year with Neek, what was the thing about Neek? How many times did he try to posterize somebody at the rim before he finally got one down? That's the mindset. I respect that mindset out of Neek, because Doug Christie was constantly challenging him to finish it at the rim, not off the glass. So I would like Acuff to take on somewhat of that mindset, hopefully. And as some of you have pointed out, obviously, you're going to have better players around you. Is that going to elevate? It should, in theory, elevate your play and make your play better. If you're Darius Acuff, he's mostly just there for moral support, establishing the culture and the standard. Okay. Sharp looks like a mix of what I wanted from Keon Ellis and Devin Carter, encouraged by his game. It's funny lifestyle, because I hated that everybody went to, he's Devin Carter that can shoot a 3 and he's a little bit bigger. I thought that was a lazy take. I think looking at two players, looking at him and then looking at Daquan Plowden, I think Scott Perry thinks he can mold them into better versions of a Keon Ellis. I think that was in mind with that pick. Scott Perry knew that they lost something with Keon Ellis on the defensive end, and I don't know how that would have ultimately played out. Heck, Keon said he really enjoyed his time in Cleveland. Outside of the playoffs, he got a lot of playing time and had some success, and he still moved on. He's going to play with Jordy in Brooklyn. So you had to get ahead of that. And certainly a guy that was a little slighted. At least two coaches were on the hot seat at times, one fired for not playing Keon. So Sharp is just a guy that is going to get under, and it's not his demeanor. He's not going to be a Dylan Brooks. He's not going to be dirty, but he's going to give you the same effect. He's going to get under your skin from his play. And when you talk about building a basketball team, a balanced basketball team, and having the different bricks, he's one of those bricks that you need. Patrick, what's up, man? How you doing today? Happy Friday. Is Caravan playing Caravan? Tristan, what's a Caravan? Tristan, you might just hit on something. Are we going to hear the Kings announcer? It's a caravan of threes tonight in Sacramento. Like, caravan. Tristan.
I'm not a smart man.
It's caravan. Come on, Tristan. Come on, Tristan.
Tristan, pay attention. Pay attention.
Yeah, come on, Tristan.
Come on.
A No, Caravan is not playing tonight. I don't think Caravan is on the Kings summer roster. The Kings didn't even draft a Caravan. Did they take a Caravan to Vegas? Probably not. Probably took the PJ. Sharp will make us forget Mateen Cleaves. No, he will not. Mateen Cleaves, this is the perfect example of every guy on the team embracing their roles and just wanting to be stars in their roles. Mateen knew his place on that team. He was like a Mason Jones type from the bench, times 2, times 3. Show me a player that waves a better towel than Mateen Cleaves. Most players would not embrace the role of being that guy, being that cheerleader, coaching dudes up, telling them what he's seen, because he really was one of those true point guards. Wasn't good enough to get on the floor a lot because of that team. But, dude, Mateen holds a special place in my heart. I'm just saying, like, dude brought it from an energy standpoint on the bench. You need that guy, man. You need that guy. Let's see. I know not a rookie, but I was very impressed with Igor Demon. Yeah, he was not bad. I'll give you that. It still makes no sense to me what Brooklyn did last year by drafting 5 guards with their 5 first-round picks. But, yeah, he's looking a little bit better. Pretty concerned about Neek. I see flashes. I'm just not seeing it. Look, Neek will benefit greatly, as will, I think, a lot of other guys on this roster if you end up signing. And I think it's pretty clear as day after Summer League. Scott was asked about this. You know, Summer League last year, they had an extra 2-way contract, and they were kind of dangling it out there to see if anybody was going to reach out and, you know, take it. And I think it was Plowden or Cardwell that did it. They dived on the floor in the final. It was the G League, or it wasn't G League. It was the Summer League championship game. And it was right in front of Doug, Vivek, and Scott. And they had been hustling like that like the entire Summer League. But I think if you, and Scott talked about the personality being more important than the position with whoever they bring on, with a veteran minimum or an MLE, etc., because you still have a roster spot. I'm convinced it needs to be a true point guard. I think there are a lot of players on this team that will benefit from having a true point guard, not a lead guard. Darius Acuff is a lead guard until further notice. A true point guard on the floor with that second unit. Even Malik Monk will benefit. Neat Clifford at this point should not be bringing the ball up. And Scott kind of flirted with that in his comments before they took off for Vegas about we might have that guy already on the roster at the point guard position. He also said it's important to have multiple people that can facilitate at the same time. Well, that's true. In today's NBA, you do need multiple people to facilitate, but you also need, if you don't have a bona fide point guard on the roster, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough sledding. So I think that's where they go. And hopefully, again, nothing against Russell Westbrook. You can't go back to Russ. You just can't do it. If Russell Westbrook is back on this team, that is, to me, 100% of a Vivek Ranadive move. It's a Vivek Ranadive panic move. Tristan laughing it up. Yeah, a caravan. Look, if
Tristan, pay attention.
Those,
Pay
if any
attention.
of
Come on,
those,
Tristan.
Kings
Come on.
TV people steal that from me, they need to point back to you, Tristan. It's a caravan of threes. You right. Those Mateen Cleaves and Gerald Wallace garbage minutes were box office. It's so funny. They were awesome, by the way. Which dunk was better? So Grant, I was talking to Grant about this. We were just BSing, and we were at lunch, and I was like, from where you were sitting, what was more impressive, the Gerald Wallace dunk or the Ronnie Price dunk? You guys both, does everybody remember those? I'm going to give you a second to think. He said it was the Ronnie Price one because you knew Gerald could do that. And with Ronnie, it just came out of nowhere. And obviously, when a smaller guy elevates that high, it makes it that much more impressive. But Gerald Wallace took off from like the 3-point line. That was a crazy dunk, too. Derrick Rose was a dependable backup point guard and true one that helped the Knicks. Yeah. The guards that are still available, there is not a ton. I think I dropped. Yeah, I don't have it right now. The free agent tracker. It was this time. You know what's so funny? It was this time last year that I was sitting here and we were looking at the free agent tracker every single day. Some of you will remember this. And I'm like, how is Precious Achiuwa still on this list? I don't know how. He is still a free agent, and it went into late July. It went into August, and Precious Achiuwa was still there, and finally he got picked up for a training camp contract. Then he finally ends up in Sacramento, but that was the Precious Achiuwa list last year. TJ McConnell type would be a great bench point guard. Agree. 2018 NBA draft. Not sure what Peter's talking about. Don't look now, but the 33rd pick just won an NBA championship and a finals MVP, Jalen Brunson. And there were 32 other players picked before him. Name them. It's a team sport, and there's more to it. Dude, I've been saying that for about as long as I've sat in this chair, that a basketball team is not about taking the best 14 players on the court. No, you have to build a basketball team with roles, guys that do different things and love doing those things. So the Detroit Pistons didn't want Sabonis, and that's why they didn't. No, this is... I think this is way over analyzed and reported. During meeting with the Kings and his agent putting out that he was really excited and would love to play for the Kings, it was all posturing. He was looking to get a number that was bigger, or at least an offer sheet. And in this case, it would have had to be a sign and trade, which at the time, I don't know if the Kings were back under the aprons or not. But anyways, this was all about leverage for Jalen Duren. Hell, it could have been a favor of Scott Perry's front office to me. And that's, by the way, with his ties to Detroit, that is reckless speculation. It very, very easily could have been a favor. What Jalen Duren is running into, really, it's the crux of this CBA, and it's why you saw Jaylen Brown traded. It's why you've seen teams get off guys quicker, shorter sample sizes, to see if two guys that are paid a lot of money can mesh and play well together. We had the conversation, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, about, and Jerry and I had it not this last week, but the week before, that what is a max player has completely changed. Just because you're eligible for the max does not mean you're a max player. I think we came up with 6 or 7 guys that would be max players. And my definition of a max player is a guy that every team in the NBA would pay the max to. Every single team. If you're not that guy, then you're not going to get paid the max. Even if you are eligible for it. And that's where Duren's at. That's why this is dragged out. His feelings are hurt that Detroit will not give him whatever that max contract is, $287 million. No team in the NBA is giving Jalen Duren $287 million right now. There's none. And he's got to come to terms with that. He has to. Martin always had a smile on his face, for sure. Smiles are good. Smiles are good. If you're tuning in for a cat update, no cat update. Have not seen the cat. At this point, maybe it was a dream. Maybe I was hallucinating. I don't know. Cat has not been back. I do not see cat mate. But what I have been seeing a lot of is Discord, because I have been working tirelessly at building our new Kings Court Discord, which is launching mid-August. It is going to be our informal and more personal get-together space, which means we will have monthly events where, and let me lay out what Discord is. It's like it's a live digital chat room with your friends where you're face to face, you're talking back and forth. I'm not talking down to you. I'm not muting you and asking you to raise your hand. We're all having a conversation. And so we have decided to take it over there for a lot more of the exclusive information that I'll be getting throughout the season. We're going to have special guests. Super excited about a couple of the guys that are already going to come on. And something you've asked for a while is watch parties. So we will be watching some of the Kings road games together. Heck, I might even pop onto Discord while I'm at some Kings home games. You just won't know. So make sure, I would love to have you sign up here in the next, we've got today and one more week where I'm offering the Founders Special. $20 for the entire season, and you get a Founders t-shirt, compliments of Bennett Restaurants. Big thanks to Brian and the team over at Bennett for sponsoring the Kings Court Discord. So get up in there. There's the PayPal link, Venmo link, if you would like to join. It is going to be really fun, and it's going to be really personal, and it's going to be a space where there's going to be some high-level basketball talk and some fun. We can do whatever we want over there, and especially with the guests that we have on, That's going to be the cool part because it's off the record. It's not living on YouTube somewhere. So I'm looking forward to that. Would love to have you join. To everybody that has already joined, thank you very much. I've already got information out to you. So become a founder. All you got to do is scan those QR codes. And if you don't do it in the next week and a half, no problem. No problem. You can do it when the season starts, but we will have a membership fee on a monthly basis to be a part of that. So looking forward to it. Make sure you get in there. Would love to have you. Let's get one more founder before the week's out. I would really, really enjoy that and appreciate that. Tristan, it's basically like those old AOL chat rooms. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, not like age, sex, and is that what it is? Age, sex, location. Oh my gosh, dude. Those AOL chat rooms back in the day. the manual dial-up internet sound back in the day. Holy crap, man. I used to, you remember, because it would take out your phone line. Your parents would get bent at you. And there was nothing to do on AOL other than chat, right? Like websites were pretty basic at that time. You'd get those discs where it's like, oh, 30 hours of free internet, compliments of us. And here's the crappy part. You could never get on the internet without your parents knowing because it was like this.
Dong, dong, dong. It.
Dude, how far we have come with technology. Crazy. If there are no major roster changes going into the season, who do you have starting and who is in the rotation off the bench? I'm still trying to piece that together. If this is the roster that goes in, remember, you still have one open roster spot if you're the Kings. I think your most exciting starting lineup, I think your best offensive starting lineup is going to be Acuff, Levine, Keegan at the 3, Max at the 4, Domas at the 5. Unfortunately, it's not realistic because you have one defender, one really good high-level defender, and 4 not so great defenders in that group. So I have the starting lineup as we sit today pegged as the same backcourt. You're going to have Acuff, Levine. You're going to have Keegan at the 3, Precious at the 4, and then you're going to have Sabonis at the 5. I think off the bench, you're going to have Max at the 4. You're going to have Dylan at the 5, Malik combo guard, and Sharp combo guard. And the 10th player in that rotation is DeAndre Hunter. That's your 10-man rotation right there. Any disagreements with me there? That's your 10 going into it. Gary Trent getting 4 years, $64 million. Yeah, NBA is investigating that. Mogbo is no. Torsha, I like Jonathan Mogbo, but he has a lot of developing still to do. That's why he's on a 2-way. 2-way is exactly where he should be at, and he knows it, or else he wouldn't have accepted the 2-way. What's up, Paul? How you doing? Think you successfully sent the deposit. I will check. Was it through PayPal? I think you is it. Are you Kurt, Paul? Because there's a Kurt that signed up. I will check. Let me know. Send me an email. Everybody that has signed up, I have already been in contact with. So let me know, Paul. So Neek is, you know what? That's funny. I didn't even mention Neek. It's a great question. That's a really good question. Is Doug going to play an 11 lineup or 11 rotation? I don't think so. That's a great question. And it's not a bad problem too. I might say this. Doug might go deeper into the bench because some of the guys in the starting lineup, if they're not like a Zach LaVine, if he's not cutting it, he might not end up being the one getting the most minutes in the backcourt at that position. That's a place where, Malik Monk easily could sneak in to finishing games. That's also a place where Neek maybe. It's hard to say because Neek looks a lot more comfortable. The game doesn't look as fast for him. But as Jerry Reynolds said, with guys like Neek, you have to have one of those things that you do great. And he doesn't really have one of those things. Now, I've seen the improvements of what he's worked on during the summer, mainly his handle and being more decisive, reading stuff a little bit better, where he's anticipating what's going to happen before it happens. But at the end of the day, the handle is still not there to bring the ball up 94 feet consistently, as it shouldn't be. He was drafted as a 3. That's something that should be, secondary and brought along. Paul, email me right here, my man. Email me, Ryno and Sacktown at gmail.com, and just let me know which payment method that you used, and we'll get it sorted out. Maybe I missed it, Paul. So email me, Ryno and Sacktown at gmail.com. I will hit it as soon as we get off the air. I've been in touch with everybody else. And again, Kurt signed up, but Kurt is Paul. I don't think you're Kurt unless you're going by like a different name. So anyways, I think you're right about having Achua starting, but Hunter and Monk are expensive off the bench. See, okay, I could very easily, and that's what made me think about Neek. I could very easily envision a situation where if Hunter is not playing well, then he could be the guy that's out of the rotation. As funny as that sounds, simply because the Kings, I don't think, are bringing back Hunter next season. I think they took Hunter on in order to Schroeder's contract was 3 years, basically $36 million. So they were able to condense Schroeder's contract by trading last year for Hunter because he only has this season remaining on his deal into a year and a half. So it was equal money, but it comes off the books a season earlier. So anyways, yes. All right. That Scott's been, I'm one that hangs on to words. I think words are important. I think there's a reason that certain words are used. And Scott has indirectly kind of drawn a line between the guys when he's answering questions about players, between the guys that are part of building what's going to be this Sacramento Kings brand of basketball, and that the guys that are expected to come in and work hard and do what's asked of them and pour into the young guys. And to me, that means Scott knows or has an idea of who he thinks is going to be here long-term or wants to have long-term. And with Hunter, I don't know if that really meets that expectation. And think about this too, with Hunter off the books next season, with LaVine off the books next season, the Kings are going to have a lot of financial flexibility, a ton. And so for me, that's why I've been actually kind of high on what Scott's been selling about this brick by brick thing, because if you can have the players in place in the roles that you need to have a very good basketball team, then you might be ready to bring on that piece. And that piece will be able to fit perfectly with all those guys, because all those guys are ready to fit with a piece like that. And the Kings next year, although usually through free agency, they don't get a ton of guys. The draft should be interesting. In fact, Adam Silver was talking about the aprons yesterday on CNBC. Do we have that? We do not have that. But we did hear that Adam Silver is getting a little. This is, and you need to read between the lines here. Adam Silver saying, I'd really like you to make a decision. Adam Silver's bent that he has to address the LeBron James stuff and the fact that a decision has not been made, because the reality is he is holding up the league. They can't do the freaking schedule because LeBron's team, whichever one it's going to be, I already know who I think it's going to be. I wrote it down yesterday. They're going to be in the Christmas Day games. They're going to be getting a lot more primetime games. Dude, this was Adam Silver. You just straight up said it on CNBC.
Politics are local. The way I think about it is we have to finish up the schedule.
Right.
And where LeBron plays will affect the schedule. So I would like him to make his announcement already so we can finish the schedule, because as you might imagine, the teams are calling us, the networks are calling us, and everybody wants to lock in the schedule. But it will influence how we set the schedule, how we set opening week, Christmas Day, etc. So I need him to make a decision. But the direct answer is I have no inside information. All politics are local.
How about that? How about that? So if you're just joining us, we had a conversation yesterday about gambling and the Kings getting underway right now against the Charlotte Hornets. The score of that one, let's see, 12-11 Sacramento, 6:20 remaining in the first quarter. Let's check out who's on the court for your Kings. Jonathan Mogbo, Markel Sutton, Alex Caravan, Emmanuel Sharp, and Adam Flagler. This is a great opportunity for Emmanuel Sharp to have a really strong game and stand out again. Sharp is 1 from 1 already from beyond the arc. He is 2 for 3 from the floor. Mogbo 1 from 2 from the floor. Caravan 1-1 from the floor. So the Kings finishing up Summer League today, right now in Vegas. We'll keep you apprised of what's going on there. Yesterday, we talked about the gambling, and I did a little bit of a deeper dive into this. And here's what I found. This is back in, I believe, 2014. This was Adam Silver, because yesterday we were talking about the hypocrisy of where this stands. And this is on the heels of the news of an NFL scout now being investigated for gambling. If you didn't know that, NFL suspends Cardinals executive for violating gambling policy. But check out this video of Adam Silver pitching gambling back in 2014.
In the big picture, how did you develop your stance on gambling? And the second part of it is there any movement in heading in that direction? How far out are we?
In the community around sports, whether it's talking to fans in arenas, whether it's looking at the point spreads in your paper and others, and hearing sports commentators constantly talking about who's favored or not, there's no doubt there's a betting culture that exists around sports. On top of that, I've done a lot of international work on behalf of the NBA, and in many of those jurisdictions, sports betting is perfectly legal. In fact, at English Premier League games, people bet at betting windows at the stadiums. And I also saw that with all that was discussed and going on around sports betting and the massive underground market that now exists, it was something we needed to address directly rather than just saying we don't think it should happen, because it is happening. Yes, ultimately states should have the decision whether they want to participate, but in order for it to be left to states, first there needs to be a change in federal legislation, which is why I wrote that op-ed piece. because right now you have Governor Christie in the state of New Jersey pushing forward to legalize sports betting there, but of course that was struck down as in violation of the federal law. I think in terms of what next steps, I mean, I'm not looking to actively lobby on the issue. I saw Rob Manfred's comments. I know that that's something that baseball is taking a close look at, certainly not to suggest they're in favor of it. I imagine that other leagues over time will take a look at it as well. Senator McCain, I read in the paper recently that he's announced that he potentially wants to hold hearings on sports betting in the United States. So I think it's an issue that will evolve over time, but meanwhile, I think a lot of states are going to continue to apply pressure on Washington, D.C. because they see it as a potential new form of revenue.
So that was Adam Silver in 2014. Let me play you in context. Adam Silver 2 days ago after the Board of Governors meeting.
Thanks for the question. I'm not familiar with that specific proposal, but at least built into the aspects built into your question, I am in favor of. From the very beginning, even before the Supreme Court overturned PASPA and made sports betting legal or potential legal for every state, I was in favor of a federal framework. I think it puts the league in a difficult position when we're dealing essentially now with 40 different jurisdictions and their different approaches to sports betting. As you could imagine, from an administrative standpoint from us, we'd greatly preferred to have one national framework. And the idea of having some czar or commissioner who could oversee it and would have, subpoena powers that the league office doesn't have when we do those sorts of investigations, I think would be very helpful. I hadn't even focused on that idea, but and the same along your other list of horribles there of things that happen when you have a world of sports betting. I think that I'm just as a reminder, I know you know this, but we have remarkably little control over how our intellectual property is used. We don't get to make decisions as to whether prop bets can be placed and what kinds of prop bets. I think ideally, we would be a party to that, and if it's a coalition with the other leagues, even better, and have those discussions about, to the extent there's going to be betting on our games, what kinds of bets are most problematic. I've said before, the unders are the most problematic right thing in our league. There may be other kinds of bets that, there's a lot of data out there that we indicate but may also be more problematic, both potentially for the league but also for the bettors as well. We recognize this is a form of entertainment, but at the same time, people can get over their head fairly quickly, and those kinds of controls also need to be in place. I mean, one of the benefits of legalized sports betting is you can carefully track and monitor bets that people are playing and turn people off when that's necessary. And I just lastly say that, again, as some sort of coalition, I have no doubt we can do a better job educating all the constituent groups. Of course, the current education we're doing for our players so that they can understand what's at stake if they were to engage in this kind of behavior and how draconian the discipline will be if they were to do those things, but then also on the betting side for people to make sure that they understand, that the risk for themselves, for their families.
Okay, now we're just getting into verbal diarrhea at that point. So he completely, and I don't have the NBA's revenue, I don't have their balance sheet in front of me, but I would have to think the money they make off of their gambling partners is probably second or third to the TV contract. So Adam Silver said it needs to be in the hands of the states. Now it needs to be in the hands of the federal government within a span of 12 years. In his op-ed back in 2014, here's some of the key points. The status quo was failing. At the time, sports betting was illegal in most states. The leagues, including the NBA, had supported the 1992 Professional Amateur Sports Protection Act, a federal law banning most state-authorized sports betting Despite this, illegal betting was thriving as a massive underground industry. Scale of the problem. Silver cited estimates of nearly 400 billion illegally wagered on sports each year in the US. The rise of the internet had made offshore and illicit betting far easier. In more widespread societal and global context, gambling had a more accepted form, or gambling had become a more accepted form of entertainment in the US. Lotteries, casinos, and many other countries already had successfully regulated sports betting systems. This is one of the bigger points that Adam Silver has been complaining about. Oh, well, I'm only talking about the American market. What about the international markets now that are doing this on our product? Just a complete turncoat. Insane. Like, you can't make it up. Can't make it up. So I thought I would point that out. To your question, Paul, Ryno, do you think it was smart for Silver to advertise that the entire NBA schedule rests on LeBron? I think he was making the opposite point of how ridiculous it is that business is being held up because of what LeBron's doing. And I said we're not going to talk his free agency anymore until he signs someplace. And I wrote down where I think he's going to sign, but it's completely in line. I have no problem with him doing that. That is a shot at LeBron's team and what LeBron's doing. So I have no problem with it. If the Kings sign someone like Asar Thompson in free agency in 2027, I can squint and see hope. I mean, we haven't seen Acuff. Is Sabonis still going to be here? You'd be looking at a possible extension for Sabonis at that point. I'll say this. Sabonis is not, and this is strictly my opinion, Sabonis, I do not believe, is in the Kings' future plans. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't make the most of it with him right now, which I thought the Kings did a poor job of doing last season. But Scott Perry has kind of made it directly and indirectly clear what he believes, what he wants, I should say, a Sacramento Kings center to look like. In fact, I asked him a question at the trade deadline, and he all but said, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't know the exact verbiage off the top of my head, but it was something along the lines of, we have an idea of what we want a Sacramento Kings center to be. It was something like that. And it was within the context of talking about Dylan Cardwell. And it wasn't so much about Dylan personally, it's the style of center and it's the rim protector. It's more athletic, I think, than Sabonis is what Scott Perry is looking for. Athena, you might be the only one that really wishes that I would talk LeBron. I'm so sick of his act. You know what LeBron is?
I'm not a smart man.
He's not a smart man. This has gotten out of control. You know, the same thing yesterday at Fanatics Fest. He took a shot at the media, too. A kid asked him a question, and he goes, and I'm paraphrasing, you know, it's too bad the media doesn't ask questions like this. And it's just like, come on, my man, wrap it up. You know what he's going to do? Here's I already predicted it. I think he's going to try to hijack the World Cup. That's what I think he's going to try to do. Because the entire world, and understand the ratings bear this out with some of these soccer players in these games during the World Cup. players that go from like 50,000 followers on X to say 18 million because they made a good play, made a bad play, cost their team. The World Cup rating, the finals or the final on Sunday, the rating for that is going to be substantial. I think he's going to try to hijack it. Yesterday, I said I think he might be right after the World Cup. I think he's going to try to hijack the World Cup. We'll see. It's a caravan. Yeah, he just hit a 3. Look, I came up with that. Look at that. No, I didn't come up with that. You came up with that, Tristan. Good job.
You
by
are toxic.
Speaking of toxic, our guy Adam is going to be here in just a few minutes. I should probably send Adam a link. That would be a good idea. If there's anything else you want to talk about as we continue on this Friday, put it in the chat. You can call the show as well. Again, King's Court Discord. You know, like during the season, it's very difficult to get these forms of shows in because of the timing sometimes of the Kings games. I don't know what my responsibilities are going to be at that point. I have a couple things on the back burner, or I should say on the burner, coming into the season. And that's why I am really pushing this, because this is where it's the perfect forum where I will be the most accessible. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to have a daily presence on YouTube. We will have a daily presence unless something changes, like a return to the radio, etc. But what you didn't get last year during the season, you will get here with the King's Court Discord. So make sure that if you haven't signed up already, please do. It's going to be members only. It'll be a monthly membership once we launch in August. But for today and next week, I am offering you the entire season for $20, and you're going to get a Founders King's Court t-shirt, compliments of Bennett's. Hit up Venmo, hit up PayPal. Either of those will work. I will respond to you, get your mailing address, give you the instructions on Discord, and get you all set. And we'll have exclusive guests and watch parties. Don't forget about the watch parties. So looking forward to that. All right, Fridays. I know it's not for everybody, but we are doing it. And thank you, by the way, for everybody that has already signed up for a Founders membership. Love the love. Thank you very, very much. It is Friday, which means we talk some wrestling. I would like to see A-Cuff wearing the Sacramento Kings hat on the bench. What? I'm not following lifestyle. Is he on the bench not wearing a hat? Kings up right now, 27-14, 29-14. Okay. Manuel Sharp, 2 of 3 from the floor. Caravan shooting the ball well, 3 of 3, 1 of 1 from beyond the arc. There you go. So they're playing pretty good. Pretty good. They're wrapping up their Vegas run right now. He is wearing the hat. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I thought you were saying you'd like to see him wear a hat. Yeah. As long as he's not like dressed. Some of these guys, the way that they dress, it's incredible for, you know what? I'm not judging with Vegas. It is hot in Vegas. Super, super hot. Okay. Now we move to, and if this is where you sign off because it is Friday, I hope you have a great weekend. We will be back Monday unless there's any crazy news that breaks between now and then. If you're staying with us, then you like the wrestling segment. We are going to talk some WWE with my man Adam. And I'm gonna put Adam on the spot here. He doesn't know that this is gonna happen, but we're gonna do this. What's up, dude? How are you?
What's up?
What's going
What's
on?
going on?
How are you?
Do you hear reverb?
A little bit, not too bad.
Wow, it's really bad in my head.
Let me turn you down.
Turn me down.
You ready for a little game?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Pretty self-explanatory. The chat can play along as well. This is called Wrestling Jeopardy. The guy that does this gave me the green light to do this on the channel. So let's test our knowledge for a couple of rounds. I have not seen this.
Wrestling game show where you're the contestant.
Because we're gonna teach you a lesson.
As always, there are 25 clues on the board, and they come from these 5 categories, beginning with hardcore champions, followed by pro wrestlers by theme song lyrics. Our third category is alliterative superstars. Our fourth category, original tag team names. And our fifth category this episode was voted on by you, the Wrestle Trivia community. The 3 choices you had to choose from were broken bones, knocked unconscious, or torn muscles. And with an even 50% of the vote, our fifth category will be knocked unconscious.
Hey, what happened?
That's brutal.
And that's how it means it's time for the 200-point jobber round. 5 somewhat easy questions to hopefully start your game off with a bang.
But that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Shut up!
And here comes the first clue on the board. It's from Hardcore Champions, worth 200 points. He never won the Hardcore title because it was actually gifted to him by Mr. McMahon.
Any guesses?
Triple H.
Triple H. Chat, any guesses? I'm going to say Shane McMahon.
Who is Mankind, aka Mick Foley.
I'm not
On
a
to Pro
smart
Wrestlers
man.
by theme song lyrics for 2. They see me walk, they hear me talk. I make them feel like they're on cloud 9.
I'm just a sexy boy.
Okay, so it's not just me. All here's the echo.
Okay. Do you want to sign off and sign back on?
Yeah, I'll be back. And it's Shawn Michaels, baby.
Shawn Michaels. I agree with you. It is Shawn Michaels. It's the Heartbreak Kid. I pulled his expensive card, by the way. Thank you for that, ball.
He's just a sexy boy. Who is the Heartbreak Kid?
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels.
There we go.
Here comes the first clue from the category alliterative superstars, and it's a visual clue. Who's this?
Bianca Belair. Duh. Even Adam would get that one right. See if Adam can screw this one up. I don't think he can, but I might be surprised. What's up?
It's my daughter's favorite.
She playing with it?
I still got this echo.
It's like an echo.
Hello.
The echo's not bad, like with me. Maybe the audience is hearing it more than I am.
What say the audience?
Let us know about Adam's echo. I don't think that's Stephanie McMahon, Tristan. That's Bianca Belair. What do you think, Adam? Bianca Belair?
Yes, baby.
All right.
Now, for those of you who don't know, alliteration means you have the same letter that begins the first and last name. So this right here is Bianca Belair. Moving on to original tag team names for 200 points. Who was originally called the Ebony Experience?
Ooh, I don't know.
Jacqueline?
Oh yeah, I just heard your reverb. Okay. Adam sounds like
Trick. When I am God.
Stop it. You are not a smart man.
I'm not a smart man.
Adam, do you have camera audio and mic audio both on? The chat's doing IT for you, man. Did he freeze? Have we lost Adam? I think we've lost Adam. There he goes. We'll see if he comes back. The Ebony experience, I have no idea. It's going to be Jacqueline and somebody else. I'll go with Adam.
And the correct answer is Harlem Heat.
Damn, I was
T
thinking
and
about
Ray were in the
them,
Global
actually.
Wrestling Federation in
Not
the
to be
early
that guy.
1990s. And let's close out the job around with this clue from Knocked Unconscious. He attempted a shooting star press, but his boot slipped, causing him to under-rotate and land headfirst on the mat instead of on Kurt Angle.
Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar.
I mean, just look at that photo right there. I mean, the dude is in La La Land. Who is Brock Lesnar? By the way, if you think you have what it takes to be a contestant right here on Wrestling Jeopardy, well, the only way for you to find out is to subscribe to this channel for more information. We begin the 400-point round now with another clue from Hardcore Champions. He chokeslammed RVD Rob Van Dam off the stage through a table at Vengeance 2001 to win the Hardcore Championship.
If it's a choke slam, it's got to be a big man. Is this going to be any better? Let's see. How's your reverb?
I don't want to talk.
Oh yeah. Oh. You keep trying to work that out. I'm gonna put you in. I'm gonna put you in there. Big Show maybe.
The only mid-card title that this wrestler ever won throughout his WWE career. Who is The Undertaker?
Wow.
The second clue of the 400-point round comes to us from Pro Wrestlers by theme song lyrics.
I'm not a smart
Pain and Destruction
man.
is our middle name.
Pain and Destruction is our middle name. The Dudleys?
Finally enshrined in the WWE Hall of Fame, who is Demolition?
Gotta go with
Also
your
another
first
visual
thought.
clue
I was
from
thinking
alliterative
Demolition, but I'm like, they didn't
superstars.
have
Who's
lyrics.
this?
JC? No, that's not JC. Gosh dang it. She was in NXT. I'm still going to say JC Jane, then they just got her looking way nicer.
And that would be another double B.
No, Britt Baker.
Who is Britt Baker?
Dang it.
Here comes the clue
I'm
from
not a
original
smart
tag team
man.
names worth 400. What tag team was once called the Sheep Herders?
The Bushwhackers, maybe?
An ultra-violent hardcore tag team that became
Let's go,
cartoon
Ryno!
characters once they came to the WWF.
Let's go!
Who are Luke and Butch, the Bushwhackers. And
Let's go,
finish up
Ryno!
the 400-point round with this clue from Knocked Unconscious. She was accidentally knocked out courtesy of a Brie Bella Yes kick during a 6-woman tag team match on Raw in 2018.
Ooh, this was... It wasn't Sasha, it wasn't Bailey, it wasn't Becky, it wasn't Natalia. She's not in the WWE anymore. I know that much. At least I don't think she is.
And despite the worrying situation,
Oh, it
a
was
disgruntled
Liv.
I'm not a
Liv
smart
Morgan
man.
valiantly returned to the ring after a
was
brief
Liv.
medical assessment.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
All right, 10 questions down, 15 to go, plus the daily double.
It was Liv. How do I forgive myself for that? Let's see. Is he better?
Okay.
I think that worked. No? Go to your restream settings. Hey, go to your restream settings. See the little setting thing? And check audio. Input.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Go to your restream settings.
Yeah. Minute.
Go to audio. See what your input and output is.
Right where it should be.
All right. Not going to work, eh?
Well, I guess I can show myself the door.
I'm sorry, buddy.
It's okay.
All right.
I'll mess around with it. I'm going to blog around. What?
All right. We'll see if we can get Adam back. The hardcores of the hardcores doing wrestling Jeopardy with us.
A bonus question and final Jeopardy.
Seems fair.
We begin the 600-point round now with this clue from Hardcore Champions. He changed the name of the title to the Texas Hardcore Championship.
Terry Funk.
And he also created a customized belt. Who is Bradshaw, aka JBL? On to another clue from Pro Wrestlers by Theme Lyrics, worth 600 points. I'm a lover of every kind. The best surprises always sneak up from behind.
Sexual Chocolate. Mark Henry.
Believe it or not, the song Ass Man helped catapult Billy Gunn's career.
Nice, smart
And
man.
we've reached the halfway point of the game. Here comes another visual clue from alliterative superstars. Who's this?
Oh, gosh dang it.
One half of the Irresistible Forces. Who is Lash Legend?
I knew that.
All right, get ready to possibly level up your score. It's bonus question
Trick
time.
Williams'
If you
wife.
answer this clue correctly, you will double your score. Lash Legend's NXT 2.0 talk show was called what?
The Lash Studio.
And the correct answer is Lashing Out with Lash Legend.
I'm not a
On to the
smart
600-point
man.
clue from original tag team names. What tag team was originally known as Too Much?
Scotty Too Hottie and Rikishi.
Yes, before they were Too Cool, the duo of Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor were originally called Too Much.
Dude, this stuff's
And here
hard.
comes the final clue of the 600-point round. It's from Knocked Unconscious. The Miz suffered a concussion and was knocked out after he and John Cena fell over the ring barrier during the main event match of WrestleMania 27 at this arena.
That was in Atlanta.
Getting knocked out at a WrestleMania must be a nightmare for any wrestler, but especially in front of over 70,000 people in the Georgia Dome. We're on to the first clue of the 400-point round from Hardcore Champions.
Let's go, Ryno!
All right, it's that time. Are you tough enough to bet it all here? The Daily Double category once again is Hardcore Champions. Place your wager now.
1,000 haunted horse coins.
All right, time is up. Here's this episode's Daily Double clue. He has the most reigns as WWE Hardcore Champion with 39.
39 hardcore champion reigns. I'm going to say, is it Mankind? No. Test.
All right, I'll give you the top three here. Coming in third place with 21 reigns is Steven Richards. Coming in second with 22 reigns was Crash Holly. But the one wrestler who had the Hardcore Championship the most times was Raven.
Tristan had it.
We're on to some more pro wrestlers by the theme song lyrics for 800. I'm not saying that women don't fall over him, but he don't give in.
Paul.
He's a family man.
Dusty Rhodes.
And the correct answer here is Ricky Steamboat, as
Dang
these
it.
lyrics come from his WCW theme
I'm
called
not
The
a smart
Dragon.
man.
Now, when I think of dragons, I think of badass, fire-breathing beasts, like some straight-up Game of Thrones shit, right? But not the writers of this song,
This
who
guy's
apparently, when they think of a dragon, they think of a guy who doesn't cheat on his wife. On to the fourth visual clue from alliterative superstars, worth 800 points. Who is this?
I don't know who that is. Those are awful tattoos.
And that would be Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah.
Here comes the 800-point
Not a
clue
smart
from
man.
original tag team names.
I'm
The
not a
tag team
smart
was originally
man.
called the Vegas Connection.
No idea.
Now, when
I'm
Kevin
not a
Nash and
smart
Diamond Dallas
man.
Page teamed up in late 2000, they reprised their Vegas Connection team from a decade prior, but were now known as the Insiders. And here comes the final clue before the 1,000-point main event round. It's worth 800 points, and it's from Knocked Unconscious. During this 2016 pay-per-view, Enzo Amore suffered a severe concussion in a match against the Vaudevillains.
Royal Rumble.
Now, I remember watching this live and thinking something ain't right with the real one there. Back in 2016,
Dang
this
it.
pay-per-view was called Payback.
And if I ever found out that Simon Gotch did that shit on purpose, if he came out and said that, how you doing?
How you doing?
Now it's time to really test your intestinal fortitude. It's the main event, 5 1,000-point questions.
All right, let's see if we can get him one last time. Did Horse fix you up?
Bro, I switched my AirPods.
It's still there? Maybe like the FBI has you wiretapped or something.
Makes sense.
All right. Well, next week maybe.
Maybe.
Dude, I feel bad.
That's not
Nobody.
bad.
I know, man. You worked so hard to make it back today. Dude was
Dude,
traveling.
I walked in right at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, okay, Horse, get with Adam. You two get together. If you guys can figure it out, Horse might be able to help you. Okay. All right. Let's finish this out. I don't think we're gonna get Adam today.
Guaranteed to put your wrestling knowledge.
I've got to get
to
one
the
of these
test.
last 5.
How are you doing?
And we begin with the final 1,000-point clue from Hardcore Champions. In November 2024, Triple H gifted a modernized version of the WWE Hardcore Championship to him.
Mick Foley.
A nice little bookend here to this category as Papa H surprised Travis Scott during his Complex Con set and declared him the new Hardcore Champion. And we all know how that worked.
Either
On
is
to the
Triple
final
H.
clue from Pro Wrestlers by theme song lyrics. Rising up from the land of the gator, he's a modern-day gladiator.
AJ Styles.
"6'6", angry and mean, he's a living, breathing war machine. Who is Mike Awesome?
What?
Here comes the final 1,000-point clue from alliterative superstars. Who's this?
JC Jane.
Let's go, Ryno.
JC Jane.
And that would be the 2-time NXT Women's Champion, JC Jane.
Let's go.
On to the last
There you
clue
go,
from
Paul.
original tag
There's
team
your
names.
payoff.
Worth 1,000. Who was originally called the Mechanics?
The Mechanics. I don't know. I have no idea. This is going really badly.
I'm not a smart man.
Name the mechanics to reflect their blue-collar approach to dismantling their opponents, who are FTR, aka The Revival. Don't go anywhere because Final Jeopardy is next, but let's close out the board with this final clue from Knocked Unconscious, worth 1,000 points. A tale of some backstage folklore that was eventually proven to be not true was when Sheamus and this wrestler got into a fight where the Celtic Warrior allegedly got knocked out cold.
Brock Lesnar. Goldberg.
With a background in boxing and jiu-jitsu, Yoshitatsu was rumored to have embarrassed a much bigger Sheamus, but the fella
I'm
begs
not
to
a
differ.
smart
Where
man.
did this come from?
All right, 26 clues are
All
down,
right,
and only
we
one
can make it
separates you
right.
from becoming the ultimate
We can
Wrestle
make it
Trivia
right.
champion. Let's find out what this episode's Final Jeopardy category is. A category that would make Big E proud: big meaty men slapping meat.
2,000 haunted horse coins.
All right, time is up. Here is your multiple choice Final Jeopardy clue. What was the result of the infamous match between Big Van Vader and Stan Hansen at the Tokyo Dome in 1990? Was it A, a double countout, B, a double disqualification, C, Stan Hansen won, or D, Big Van Vader won? You have 15 seconds. Good luck.
B. Double DQ. Because it like rarely ever happens. It's probably going to be A though.
Now, before we reveal the Final Jeopardy answer, a big shout out goes to these contributing editors and members of this channel for their support, and you can become one too by clicking on the link in the description. I've seen plenty of wrestlers get hurt during a match, but having your eyeball popped out of its socket totally takes the prize. And while Vader's gruesome injury gets all the attention here, these two heavyweights still managed to have a hard-hitting brawl that unfortunately ended in a double countout. And that does it for another episode of Wrestling Jeopardy. Thanks again so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. My name is Mr. Wrestle Trivia, Kevin J. Callis, and I'll see you next time.
Mr. Wrestle Trivia. Kicked my tail this week. Absolutely kicked my tail. All right. Fun way to wrap up the week. I know that's not for everybody. Some of you have fun with it. We like to give everybody a little something that they like. We are back next week. Make sure you download the King's Court podcast. If you missed any of the show, find it anywhere you can find podcasts. Going to be working this weekend. Definitely still doing some build outs and more announcements coming with what's going to be happening with this show and the Discord. Maybe that's a Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, there might be. You know what? That was really smart by him. I got to give him a lot of credit. That was, I saw it. It just caught my eye randomly scrolling through. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Oh my gosh. Are we trying to do this one more time?
Hello? Hello?
I think you're clear.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. All right, thanks.
Did
All right,
Horse
thanks,
get you
Horse.
cleared up?
Back. Are we okay?
Horse got
Are we
you
okay?
cleared up. Wow. Okay.
I think we're okay.
We're good. We're good. I was closing the show out.
Dang, that's crazy.
You missed Wrestling Jeopardy.
Well, I wouldn't say I missed it.
He got in. I'm just gonna go to you, man. What do you want to? I mean, we'll go like maybe 10-15 minutes. What do you want to talk about? Oh wait, unless Peter's being a troll.
Yeah. No, I still hear it too.
All right.
Hello. Hello?
Hello? All right. We will call it off. Maybe we'll get this fixed and do an audio version at some point. All right. Appreciate you, brother. Sorry. Throw you off a steel cage. Yeah. So, anyways, poor Adam, man. He was traveling all day trying to make that segment work. We are out. I am going to be working this weekend on the Discord and working on the couple of new things that are launching here in the next month and a half for this platform and what we're going to be doing this basketball season. So thank you to everybody that has already got in on the Founders membership with the King's Court Discord. Best $20 you will spend during the King's season, I promise you. And you get a t-shirt. Compliments Bennett's. Not bad at all. Hey, have a great weekend. Be safe. I will come to you if there are any cat updates. No, I will not. I have not seen the cat. Tell you what, if I see the cat, I'll put it on X. As we go off, the Kings right now, 55-47, headed into halftime. About a minute left in the second quarter. Emmanuel Sharp shooting the ball pretty well. Sharp, 4-7 from the field, 3-6 from beyond the arc. He's going to be the story of Summer League right now. Acuff. And look, all the attention was on Acuff, but Sharp is going to be a good piece for this Kings team. Credit to Scott Perry, man. Looks like he's hit again, not maybe to the same degree as Max Ryno, but hit again in the second round. All right, be fun. Have fun this weekend. Be safe. If you want to catch Horse in about 30 minutes, you can over on his channel. Paul, hit me up if you have any issues or if we're resolved, let me know. Email me right now and I'll get back to you. See y'all on Monday. We started all over, and I would expect LeBron James to try to hijack the World Cup. We will see. All right.